Hello guys, this is Deepika from mytutorialrack.com. In this particular topic, we're going to go ahead and talk about profiles. Now, what do you mean by profile? Profile control the visibility of the application. Means what are the things that you can see? What are the features that you can access? What are the controls that you have? All those things are controlled by the profile. Now, Salesforce has given you different standard profiles, means these are the files that comes with default whenever you create a Salesforce account, and those are called as the standard profiles. If you want to see what all profiles the Salesforce has given to you, you can go ahead and type the profiles under this search and it will display you all the list of profiles that are available. And besides the standard list of profile, you can also create your own custom profile. In the real time scenario, you usually create your own custom profile because we have some restrictions on the standard profiles that we cannot change everything on the standard profile because those are the profiles given to you by Salesforce. So Salesforce has restrictions on what things you can change on the standard profiles. So if we cannot change those standard profiles, then why do we have standard profiles? That will be your next question. The reason we have standard profile is basically to create custom profiles using the standard profiles. So what does that mean is you can use the standard profile as a template and then you can create your custom profile which will be off of the standard profile. So standard profile are used as the template. That's the purpose of the custom standard profiles. You can create off of those standard profiles and you can create a custom profile, and that's how we do it in the real time. Now if you wanted to see what profiles are available to you, you can go ahead and click on the profiles here. You can search for the profiles. So you can go ahead and click. The profile is available under the manage user section. So you go ahead and click on the profile. These are all the standard profiles that are available to you. There are a total of about 36, I think there are available. And you see display of 125 out of 36. If you want to display all of those, you're going to go ahead and see all 36 on this page. And these are all the profiles. You have the name of the profile, the license that they fall under, and then there is a column to specify is it a custom profile or is it a standard profile. So which of those profile where this custom is checked, that means that's a custom profile, and for which of all those profile if the custom is not checked, that represents it's the standard profile. And some of these profile will might fall under the same user license, some of them will be in a different user license. For example, these analytics cloud integration user and the security user, both of these profile fall under the same user license. Similarly, all these profile that are related to chatter like chatter free user, chatter moderator user, all these fall under the same user license. Now here I wanted to go ahead and see my profile, which is a system admin profile. So you can also pull it up by name because the system admin starts with S. So I can click on this S and it will take me to the system admin profile here. So when you go ahead and click on the system admin profile, this is a standard layout, or we can say the standard profile view that you see. You can even change this profile layout to a enhanced one by going to the user interface and changing it. That I can show you in a minute how to do it. And so this is what the system admin profile looks like. And through its profile, you can control a lot of things. You can control the app settings, you can control the tab settings, you can control the object settings, you can control the administrative permissions, what kind of permissions you have. Then you can also control the general user permissions you have, and then you can control the standard object permissions like you can read, create, edit, delete, etc. These are the object permissions. Then these are the different things that you can do through a particular profile. So you can control user permission, object level permission, integration, password policies. All these things you can change through a profile, and we'll deep dive into all of these. So let's start with the custom app settings. So custom app setting means what are the applications that are visible to you. So what kind of the applications that are visible? So whichever checkbox is clicked on, checked here, those are the applications that are visible to you. And which is the default application? The default application is the sales application. So what happens is whenever you log in for the first time, the first application that you're going to see up here would be the sales application. So let me go ahead and change few of the things here. Right now you're able to access marketing, content, call center, sales, etc. Let's say I wanted to go ahead and right now you can see marketing here, you can see sales, you can see call center. So let's say if I want this particular application to not be visible to me. So let's say if I don't want marketing application to be visible, so I can go ahead and uncheck this checkbox under the marketing. And then if I go ahead and hit the save button, what will happen is this particular marketing application will get disappear. So if I go ahead and hit the save button, now what's going to happen is if you click on this drop down, you do not see the marketing application under this drop down because you recently have taken away the visible access to that application. So this is one thing that you can control through the profile. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and reverse the change, what you have to do, you go ahead and click on the edit, and then you give it back this particular access here, and you can change it to default. So only one particular application can be default. Means whenever you log in, you're going to see that application over here. So that's what we can do. We can change it to a different application also. So through this, we are controlling the application settings, the custom app settings. Now, right now, this particular sample console is not visible to you. So what happens is if you right now, you do not see sample console under this drop down. So if you wanted to go ahead and view the sample console, all you have to do is click on this visible here and then click on the save button. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and see the sample console available now. So this particular thing came back, the sample console. So if you wanted to see what is under the sample console, go ahead and click on this one sample console here, and it will take you to this particular view. So this is what the view looks like. This particular console windows is usually used by the call center and the sales application, and it has a different look and feel as compared to the normal that we were in the view in the different other place. So this is mostly used by the sales people or the call center people, etc. And now if I wanted to go ahead and go back, I can just click on it, and under the sample console you will only see one particular tab available. But if I go ahead and switch it to the sales, I will see the other tabs also. So now let's say if I wanted to go ahead and go back to my profile. So one way here is either you can go ahead and type it under this particular place. You can go ahead and type it here, the profiles, and it will take you to the profile page. Or you also will see the profile that you have changed under the recent items. So whichever items that you have accessed recently, you're going to go ahead and view it under the recent items as well. So either you can go ahead and type in the profiles in the search box, or you can directly click on the system administrator profile and it will take you here. Now, what we have done is we have opened the visibility access for the sample console. Let me go ahead and take it back. The second thing that guys you can do through the profile is the tab settings. Now, what is this tab setting? Tab setting tells you which all tabs are visible to you. So right now, the default on represents that these tabs are visible to you. So here, the price books, this is default off. So you don't see those tabs over here. You do not see those tabs over here. The default on means that those particular tab are visible to you up at this particular place. So that is the default on. The default off means that those particular tabs are not available at this location. Those tabs are not available at here, and they are available. If you click on the plus sign, you will see it under the extra tabs. And tab hidden is another setting for the tab, which was basically going to completely hide the tab. So let's say right now, if you wanted to see, these are the different options that we have. One is the tab hidden, the next one is default on, and the third one is default off. So if you go ahead and all the tabs which are set to default on, you can see those tabs over here, means over the top of this particular place. This is where you can see all those tabs. So here you can see accounts tab, you can see assets, campaigns, etc. The tabs which are under the default off, you do not see. So these are the default off, the macros, then you have price books, then you have data.com default, then you have all these profiles, that all these tabs that are set to default off. Those particular tabs are not available over here. But if you go ahead and click on the price button, then you're going to go ahead and see the plus button. Sorry, if you go ahead and click on this plus button, you're going to go ahead and see those tabs over here. So if I go to the plus here, then what will happen is, if I click on the plus, all those price books, it's available here. This particular price books is available here. And then you have macros was default off. All those tabs which were not available on the top, you can see it under this particular place here. So the next thing was, what we can do through the profile is to hide a particular tab. So how we can do it? You go back to the system admin profile. Let's say right now I see the leads tab, I see the contacts, I see the opportunities. Let me go ahead and edit this particular tab and say I wanted to go ahead and hide the assets tab, or the, let's say I wanted to hide the accounts tab. So what you have to do is, you just have to go ahead and click on the tab hidden, and what will it do is, it is going to go ahead and hide that particular accounts tab for you. So if I go ahead and click on the save button, now what will happen is, you no longer see accounts tab here anymore. You do not see the accounts tab. Even if you go ahead and click on like the marketing application or any other, you do not see accounts tab. The accounts tab is completely hidden. So this is another thing that you can do through the profile, is the tab settings. The first thing we discussed was app settings. The second thing we discussed is about the tab settings. So now if I wanted to go back and look at the profile one more time, you can go ahead and click on the profiles here under the manage user and go back to your system admin profile. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the system admin, and if I wanted to edit it, you can go ahead and click on the edit button. So these are the things that you can do through the profile. Then you have some administrative permissions. There are a lot of administrative permissions that you can see: manage the public list view, manage the public documents, all these things. Since you are a system admin, most of these permissions have been given to you. Then general user permissions, encrypted data, etc. Then you have these object permissions. So what do you mean by these object permissions? So for account object, you have a read access, you have a create access, you have edit access, you have a delete access, and then you have these view all and modify all access. We'll talk about these two later. So what does this read, create, edit, delete means that the permissions that are defined under the standard object permissions control access at the particular object level. So this tells you what kind of control you have at the object level. And you will not be able, if I go ahead and try to edit those permissions, I won't be able to do that, because since it's a standard profile, and I already told you there is certain limitations on what things that you can change on the standard profile, and they already have given me they already have checked these permissions for me. Means they don't want me to change it. That's why they have already by default given me all these permissions. So the read access, create access, edit access, delete access, etc. And the next thing that we have here is, let me go ahead and change this view to a different view. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and change it to the more, enable the enhanced view for this profile. So to do that, you're going to go ahead and type in user interface. We already discussed that user interface. So you go back and type in user interface here, and through that interface, you will be able to change or switch it to the enhanced profile view. So under the setup, you will see there's enable enhanced profile user interface. So once I click on this, you're going to go ahead and enable the enhanced profile view. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button. And now if I go back to my profiles, the view, the look and feel will be slightly different than the standard ones. So once you go ahead, now go to the system admin profile here, and if I go ahead and click on the system admin profile, it asks me to the welcome to the enhanced profile user interface. And then if you wanted to go ahead and start the tour here, you can go ahead and click on the start tour, and if you don't want it, you can just go ahead and click no thanks. So let's say I wanted to start the tour. So here it tells you that these are the app permissions. So if you wanted to go ahead and change a specific permission or setting, you can do through this one. Let's say you wanted to go ahead and change the or you wanted to look for, let a particular object that you wanted to change. So let's say I wanted to look for accounts. So what it is going to do is it's going to go ahead and change the settings for the account object. So if I wanted to go ahead and click the account settings, so you wanted to search for a particular object that you want to change, you can type in here. And let's say I wanted to look for, if you wanted to go ahead and look for a leads object setting that you wanted to change, you wanted to go ahead and change the object setting for the leads, then you can go ahead and click on that and it will take you to the particular lead setting page. So this is the enhanced view here. So if I go back to my profile overview, so right now we are on the start tool. So we have gone through the this particular box that you can go ahead. This is the search box that you can type in a particular search. If you are changing an object setting on the leads, on the contact, on the account object, you can type in the name of the object and it will take you to that particular settings page. Then the next thing you have here, if I go ahead and click on the continue, you can change the properties here. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and give another description under the system admin. You can go ahead and click on the edit properties here, and then here you can specify what this is, a system admin profile. So you can go ahead and add a description here if you want, and then go ahead and hit the save button. So it's going to go ahead and change the, edit the properties here. Then the next thing you can do is, this is assign user that you wanted to assign, or if they have multiple users, you can assign, and you can see which all user have a profile of system admin. So since I am the only one who has a system admin profile, so that's why you go ahead and see this particular system admin profile here. So those things you can also do through here. So right now we have covered the app, this one we have covered the edit property section, and then we have also covered assign users, means who all have that. The next thing is the browse the app permissions and the settings. So these are app related permissions and the settings, and they are grouped on individual pages. So if you wanted to go ahead and assign which particular app, specify which apps are visible to you, you can go ahead and do it through here. So it's the same thing that you saw on the standard layout, but the way to access them has changed. So these are all the list of the applications that you have, that they have been visible to you, and you have changed the access or to the sample console. So right now if you wanted to take it back, you can go ahead and uncheck this. So this is the app permissions that you can do. The second thing you have is the connected app. So it's the settings that basically specify which connected apps are visible in the app menu. So there's some list of the connected apps, and you wanted to show which connected apps are visible, you can control through here. Object settings. So permission to access objects and the fields, and settings that specify which record types, page layouts, and tabs are visible. So those things can be controlled through the object settings. So if I go back here and you look at, these are the different kinds of objects that you have. These are the list of the objects, and the permissions that you have on these objects is read, create, edit, delete, view all. These are the different permissions that you have. Then there is a tab settings for those, tab hidden, some have default on, some have default off. um, and then let's say I wanted to go ahead and change it, you can go ahead and click on this particular edit button and you'll be able to change it. So let's say you wanted to go ahead and change it for the account object, so you can go ahead and select that particular account object from here, and then you can go ahead and change those particular account related stuff here. So if I wanted to go ahead, and you can see these are the object permissions. I have read, create, edit, delete, view all, etc. access on the object permissions. Right now I'm not able to change it because the system admin has to have these permissions on this particular object. Now if I wanted to, since the tab was hidden, I'm going to go ahead and change it back to default on, so I can go ahead and do through this one. And what kind of layout is nothing but the look and feel of the page. Since we have, first we had a standard layout for the profile, then we switched to the enhanced layout, so the look and feel has been different. So these are the different layouts that are available for the account object. You have an account marketing layout. For the marketing team, account will look different. For the sales team, the look and feel will be different. For the support team, it will be different. And then since I'm a system admin, they have given me an account layout, which is like a combination of all three. So what you can do is you can try switching back to these and see how the look and feel changes. You can try play around with it. And so now I'm on the account layout here, and these are the object permissions. And then you have the next is the field permissions. Now what are the field permission? So for all on the account object, these are the fields of that particular account object. So right now if you see here, these are the different kind of fields which are available on the account object.